Welcome, viewers and listeners, to the Point program for this morning. As I hinted to you earlier, this morning we are joined by members from the Digital Forensic Unit of the RGPF. Gentlemen, please introduce yourselves.
All right, good morning. Good morning and good morning to the listening public. My name is Garfield Charles, Detective Constable attached to the Digital Forensic Unit.
And
pleasant good morning to everyone. Pleasant morning to the listening public. My name is Neil Finley, Detective Constable also attached to the Digital Forensics Unit.
Okay, well, welcome to the Point, and let's start it from the beginning. The Digital Forensic Unit, of course, it's an arm within the RGPF, which, again, I think that falls under CID as well. What exactly is that department all about?
So the Digital Forensic Unit, our mandate is to augment the investigations of the Criminal Investigation Department and also the wider force. So we come in where the expertise are needed when you're dealing with cases where electronic devices such as mobile phones, computers, and the like, so forth. That's where we come in to analyze the data that is found in those devices and to provide results to the respective investigators to assist them in their cases. And
so in essence, that is a geek department.
Well, if you want to put it like that.
Yeah,
yes.
that is where those weirdos and them. But nonetheless, how significant is that department today? Because years gone by, from a Grenada's perspective, that department might not have been needed.
Yeah,
but
true.
in this current dispensation, how needed, how busy are you guys?
Extremely busy. Very, very, very important, because we play a very role, especially as I see today, everything now, the cyber crimes and whatnot, everybody's now committing the offenses and whatnot online. So hence the reason why there was a mandate, for a department to be implemented to assist in investigations. So we play a very, very important role in terms of investigation. Yeah. And we see that exists in the world today. Everything, cybercrime. Yeah. You want to, let's say, one spread some false rumor like to tarnish somebody's character. Everyone a device, internet, and they do everything online now. So
you touch a real serious thing. We'll come to that as we go on, because this morning we were talking about that. I was talking about bullying and so forth, and then someone brought up that interesting aspect of cyberbullying as well. And now it's also Cyber Month, Cyber Awareness Month.
Yes. Cyber Security Awareness Month.
Tell us, why do we need a month for cyber awareness?
Oh, go on. If you want.
You want to answer? Okay, well.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Okay, well, the Cyber Security Awareness Month is really, coming to exist just to raise awareness, right, to the general public about the importance of how to protect your personal, your information about that only, because, as I said, the era in which we live in today's world, we do everything online. Our shopping, we even have, the social media. So that is very, so hence the reason why there is a need, to be observed where different activities could be put in place as to share information. So the Cybersecurity Awareness Month, it is not observed every October, right? Which was first launched in 2004 by the U.S. authority, right? The U.S. government. So it's more like an international thing, and also want to implement it into the Caribbean region. And the main reason for this is one, education. Education in the sense that to provide and to teach, the general population, the general public, because not much people may know, okay, just the little do's and don'ts, just the little pointers we may provide that could go along in protecting you online. So the teaching, the education part is important, which will help you to identify threats like the fishing, which we're going to get into as we go along. And I don't mean the fishing like you go by the river.
When you say fishing, then I say, hey, they're going by the beach today.
Not by the beach, where you have your line and the fishing rod, you got the fishes. No. Okay. But it's more like where you have been scammed, and then you have, the prevention aspect of it, the responsibility and whatnot, and the awareness. And look today, look what coming up, which plays a big thing in the world of AI.
Oh yeah.
So it's very, very important.
It's also if I must add to what my colleague has just brought out, we have to also be cognizant that locally the government has taken a big initiative to place a lot of their services online, such as the pay.gov.gd, where it assisting you no longer having to go and join a long line in Inland Revenue to pay the relevant government for the relevant government services. Now you can just go on your mobile phone, make payments, even the e-tax. You could file all these things online. So all this goes in conjunction with the whole issue of bringing awareness to the general populace.
Now, in my days in school, right, and that wasn't so very long ago, I attended the McDonald College, and IT was not yet on the curriculum when I was doing CXC.
Right.
But I lived to see that I became an IT teacher myself. So the gentleman that's in charge of CSERT, Jervis Dabrio, he was teaching in SAS. He was the IT teacher in SAS. I was the IT teacher in GSS.
Wow.
So I know we have a sound it's IT education campaign and program going on.
Right.
But if that is so, if we have such a comprehensive IT curriculum, why do we find ourselves being susceptible to so many scams and ills of the internet? Why is that so?
Good question. That's an excellent question. Now, the whole issue of the internet and being susceptible to crimes. Forgive me if I pronounce the word correctly.
That's okay.
But it all boils back to that the internet is a versatile platform. Right? It's ever changing. You may learn something today, and tomorrow that is irrelevant.
Yeah.
So it's always a continuum where you have to always keep educating and building on what you already know. It doesn't remain one way. Just as with any other field, if you're a doctor, you have to keep updating yourself. Regardless of what skill set you're involved in, you have to always keep updating yourself. So what you may have known 10 years ago, you might say it's not that it's totally irrelevant, but as I say, we know in a whole different atmosphere. We're now seeing stuff like AI.
Yeah.
Back then, you would have never even think that something like that existed.
No. When I was studying computers, I did the language ANSI. That was the root language. Now everybody programming with virtual VB and all this. So times have changed, and if you have to be competitive, you have to do your refreshers and staying abreast. And as police officers, if you're going to be investigating, you have to be one step ahead of the criminals.
Definitely. So on that note, it's something that the onus is always on you, the end user.
Yeah.
To keep yourself updated with current trends, the latest technologies out there. So basically, one might want to say that what has really happened between you learning IT and now, A lot has taken place.
Oh yeah,
Yes, a
definitely.
lot.
And I'm to be honest with you, Jarvis always tells me that I am not too interested in the modern trends anymore, man. Because you can't keep up. You can't keep up. I having problems navigating the smartphones on them, and the 12 and 10-year-old navigating as. In any case, what from the RGPF slash what's the department again?
Digital forensic.
Digital forensic department. What would you say are some of the most prevalent security issues?
Okay, so from our standpoint, we have these scams, right? We have seen a few scams, and as I mentioned about the phishing a while ago, the phishing scam, and again, not going into the river and shoreline, but it's more like the fake emails, right? The messages, the website, and the whole idea about these scams is basically it's just so. If I don't put it in simple terms, it's just a trick, the users, the person online into giving away your personal information, right? Also, like, your password, your bank details, and so forth. And we've seen a lot, like reports coming with these types of scam. Also, we have seen like with the malware in terms of, again, it might be the form of a link. They might say, okay, congratulations, you have win the lottery or something like that. Or for instance, it might be in the form of a promotion. You have the eBay, the Digicel, all these companies where the bad actors, which is, so as we would say it, are the scammers, would use these companies to try to advertise promotion with the intention behind it. And you may see some message, like a link, and say, okay, click the link and to sign into that. One click of the link and that's it.
Yeah. Well,
only a click of the link.
In the first case, they're not actually using the company. For example, you use Digicel, for example. They use the name and some a logo that's similar to it.
Right.
And if you're unsuspecting, you would. I remember that, and I would never forget that, because that almost caught me. It might be maybe 10 or maybe 15 years ago. This email came to me, and I would never forget the name. It was coming from Senegal, Steffi Atta. Right. And Steffi Atta put up this beautiful picture, and she was like, oh, I'm in this orphanage, but I have an inheritance of how much $1 million. And when I hear that, I say, But then wisdom kicked in. If you have all this money in an inheritance, one, you're in an orphanage, and two, you want me to send you money so that your inheritance could be released. I say, but that ain't adding up.
That ain't up at all, right?
So subsequent to that, whenever I get such an email, or some of them even text you, I'm saying, no Steffi Atta. Steffi Atta is the name that's stuck. So having said that, in Grenada, how prevalent are these phishing and attempt for identity theft?
Locally here, I want to say that yes, it exists. We have had cases of it. But what I want to believe that I believe most of the cases that we have has not been reported. While yes, we have had reports, but I believe the issue here is the reporting factor.
Why is that so? Why are people? Because I know for a fact that there are cases where people lost a lot of money through these things. Some by wiring money online, some by literally going to Western Union and MoneyGram and sending money out. But if that is the case, why are people hesitant to report?
From speaking with the colleagues at FIU, they have received reports of such data, but in most instances, persons more or less have this mindset that, okay, I've lost X amount, and they seek to remedy the problem for themselves. Because I am aware of instances where persons go and look to get other services online to rectify the issue that they have. Like say they would have, like with this cryptocurrency issue, where they would have purchased cryptocurrency. Yeah, they would have been doing well with it for a while, and then all of a sudden the company just goes dark.
Yeah.
And they have no remedial choices available to them to get back their finances. So what they would do is that they would go online to see if they can find persons who would more or less investigate the matter for them to get back the money rather than come in and report the issue.
Okay, so now I'm happy that you said that. So to those of members of the audience there who are listening and might have been a victim of that before, if they got scammed online, they report it to your department, what steps do you have that you can take to assist them in recuperating from that loss?
Right. So actually, we don't, at the DFU, we're not like a walk-in department where you come into the front desk and make a report. As I say, we augment the CID. So what would happen, one should report the incident to either CID or the FIU. Or any police station for matter of fact, island where they report the issue, then that's where we would come in to assist in the investigation. Now, Grenada has since been a signatory to the Budapest Convention. Now, the Budapest Convention is where countries has signed on to this cyber security platform, where if you have an issue, let's say you have a scam here in Grenada and you realize that okay, it's from outside of the country, once you report the matter, we know can get in contact, and let's say the IP address or the email is linked back to, let's say, somewhere in Africa, Europe, or Australia, wherever, we now are in a position to get onto that network and report the matter there to a signatory country, and they can look into the issue because the IP address most of like stem from their country, and because of that agreement, this is where we can have like what you call MLATs, mutual legal assistance treaties, where they can arrest the person there and prosecute the person on our behalf and so forth. Or if it's possible, have the person come to Grenada to face charges, yes.
Wow.
So that's the good thing about we know Grenada having signed on to the Budapest Convention.
So in essence, you're saying that it doesn't necessarily matter where the crime is originated.
Exactly.
Once it is reported through the RGPF, whether it's FIU or CID,
yes, it
can be traced,
yes,
tracked, and the perpetrators could be caught.
Exactly. And even if the person choose to use a VPN, that's most persons like what I call virtual private networks, where you mask your identity.
Yes.
Because what would happen, a VPN provider would host servers in different countries, but that doesn't mean that they are untouchable.
Yeah. Okay. All right, folks, it's 24 minutes. You were saying something before we go to the break. Go right ahead.
Okay, so our next crimes that we have seen a lot too. Maybe when you come from the break, I could elaborate about the violation of privacy.
Yeah, that's where I want.
Child pornography.
Yeah, so that's where I'm headed.
Okay.
You're reading the mind. All right, folks, it's 25 minutes after 9 o'clock, and this is To The Point for today, Thursday, the 2nd day of October. We take a quick commercial break. We'll be back after these messages. Don't you go anywhere.
Grenada, let's celebrate the 19th annual Hubbard's Legends in Concert on Sunday, November 9th from 5 p.m. at the Grenada Trade Center with the best of Grenada along with the Black Prince and the Pink Panther. Our partners, Hubbard's, GBN, Grenada Paper Products, Grenada Distillers Limited, makers of Clax Court, Grenada's #1 rum, Brentville Credit Union, Bryden and Miners, Agents 4, Johnny Walker, Smirnoff Vodka, and Campari, Renwick Thompson and Company Limited, Pierre Marcel, Hard On Plus, Gittins Healthcare, Dollar Savers Auto Parts, Rise and Shine Supermarket, Springs Food Mart, Excel Plaza, Clem Vision Eye Center, Chillaxing Cafe, Answer Coating, Victory Bar, Blue Bubba's PA Rental and Events Supply, Chateau de la Motte, Grenada, Captain Harris Apartments, Gem Holiday, Beach Resorts, Dana's City Inn, Glenegg, Springwater, and the Grenada Trade Center. Sunday, November 9th, 5 p.m. Grenada Trade Center, the 19th annual Hubbard's Legends in Concert. Please be seated by 4 p.m. Hubbard's Legends in Concert.
The Grenada Electricity Services Limited cordially invites shareholders to attend the 66th annual meeting of shareholders held virtually on Zoom as well as at the Grenada Room, Radisson Beach Resort on Thursday, 9th October 2025 at 4:30 p.m. Note, each virtual attendee is required to register early to facilitate verification. Documents for the upcoming meeting are available on the company's website. Visit www.grenleg.com or call Grenleg at 237 extension 312 for more information.
Welcome back to the Point. This morning I'm joined by Constables Finley and Charles from the Digital Forensic Unit of the RGPF, and we're talking cyber security because we are into Cyber Awareness Month. Before we run off on that break, we were looking at the use of the internet or computers or whatever you want to call it, the technology for the invasion of privacy. We also have to take a particular deep look at child pornography. That is something that we hear about it in the US and all this, but it's happening here.
Yes.
Definitely.
All right. So, how can someone use the internet for the invasion of privacy, violations of someone's privacy?
Okay, so for the invasion or the violation of the privacy, but we have I've seen an increase in reported cases, for the violation of privacy, and it's basically like if I just speak it like in layman term. Man and woman, in relationship gets sour, and they tend to use. So the male person tend to use the internet now as more like a revenge porn. So during their relationship, they must have kept explicit content among themselves.
They're wrong to do that.
Right?
Wrong to do that.
So things get sour, relationship end, and most time they will tend to publish that explicit content, be it Facebook or their WhatsApp statuses and what, the social media and platforms, right? So that's how it really goes about. And for this, for under the Electronic Crime Act, persons can be charged for the offense of violation of privacy.
Okay.
In this content.
All right. So let's look at it this way. I understand the displaying of explicit photos and so forth. All right. Yeah. I mean, and that is really prevalent in Grenada.
It is
really prevalent. It's sad, but it's there. But we're not special. It's a world thing.
Yeah.
All right. However, the absence of photographs. What's about conversations, ordinary conversations without the pictures. Okay, so I'm conversing with you via text messages and so forth, and you use that and you publish it. Is that also a violation of my privacy?
Yes, you can put it. It's not only limited to photographs or videos. Let's say I would have confided in you something that is dear to me, and for some reason, maybe we have a falling out, or I thought you were my friend.
Yeah.
But actually, as I say,
you are friending me.
Yeah, exactly, because not all green teeth is a smile, right?
All skin teeth na laugh.
Exactly. And then, so then what would happen? You would say, okay, because we have some misunderstanding or some falling out, I would decide to publish this conversation that I confided in you. Right, and yeah, that would also constitute violation of privacy.
Now, okay, so that act has been committed, that offense has been committed. What are the punitive measures? What if I have been dealt a bad blow with, violation of my privacy and so forth? What steps can I take, and what redress do I have?
It boils right back down to reporting the issue.
Matter, yeah.
So you go into any police station or criminal or CID and report the issue. And
the special victim
or the special victims unit, right? Which yes, I would have the special victims unit, and definitely the police we will look into the issue and do the necessary investigations and bring the perpetrators before the court to answer
the charge.
And after the charge and court and there's conviction and so forth, what are the measures what are the charges? How do I have been faulted. What can I get out of it?
So with regards to the penalty, right? Mm-hmm. So on summary conviction, person can be fined, right, not exceeding $200,000, right? They can serve a term of imprisonment not exceeding 3 years, or you can get both. So that's how serious it is.
So you can be fined maximum $200,000,
or you can serve a term of imprisonment not exceeding 3 years, or you could even get
fined and confined.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. All right. So, folks,
so it's serious.
It is serious, and I for some reason I think a lot of people play around with this thing, and I think one of the reasons why people just do things, as they please, is because the laws are there. But two things happen. People don't know the laws exist. They don't report it. And then sometimes the laws are not enforced.
I wouldn't say that, well, yes, you're right about that persons not knowing the law and not reporting. But the last pointer there that the
laws are not enforced. That's not true.
I would not say that, because remember the police is not so much of a proactive organization. We are more reactive. So 95% of our job depends on the public making a report to us. If we don't receive a report, then we cannot act.
You can act.
Okay.
We cannot act. It's only in certain circumstances where we may have identified an offense before a report is being made, then we can act.
Then you could be proactive.
Then we can be proactive. But if we have not received any reports, then there's virtually nothing we can do.
Which leads us to a very, very important, critical subject area: child pornography.
Yes.
As we touch it, let's make an open declaration. What would we term child pornography?
So child pornography as the term alludes, well, remove the child aspect of it, you deal with pornography. And for most of us adults, we know what porn is.
I don't. I don't. My mama grew me up. I didn't know what that is.
Yes, right. So I mean, for the most of adults, we know. Okay, you go to these explicit sites where you see. Well, it's really madness now that you see you have male and female engaging sexual activities, right? And you go on these sites to for pleasure, to most people to please your self-pleasure,
yeah,
right?
Mawet.
Or your lust, to put it that way, right? Your sexual lust. Now it's so crazy that it's a combination of man and woman, man and man, woman and woman, woman and animals, man and animals. So, and even right now, you see, that's where the child aspect comes into it. Now it's women and young boys, men and young girls, underage girls, right? So then this is where the child aspect comes into it.
So for the child, the child description of pornography, at what age would you say that is child pornography?
Right, I was going, right. I was about to add that. So in the law also, for the purpose of this section of a child is referred to as a person who is under the age of 18 years. So in essence, yes, we know in Grenada that the consent age is 16 years, right? Mm-hmm. So let's say, for instance, an adult maybe have a relationship with, let's say, with a young girl who is 17 years, right? And during the relationship, again, he is in possession, or he capture or create explicit content between them, right? A report is being made. Person might tend to say, well, she can give consent. Why is he charged for child pornography and not violation of privacy? But because of how it is defined, a child under the age of somebody who is under the age of 18 years, you will be charged for the offense of child pornography rather than violation of privacy, despite she can give consent.
These are some of the tricky areas of the law. I think my cousin once said to me that it's called a lacuna. Yeah, right. But having said that, the definition, the age range, and so forth, anything under 18, getting involved in explicit, so forth, that's child pornography. Now,
child pornography.
If a report is made and the investigation is pursued and a conviction comes out of it, what are the punitive measures? What are the charge, not charges, but the sentencing and so penalties?
I believe the same thing as the. So again, it's summary conviction, not exceeding 200,000, imprisonment not exceeding 3 years, or you could get both for the offense as the penalty. So it's very, very, very serious.
But let's make it a little more interesting and technical. In that video or picture that you saw, or that was shown, and it shows of an overaged or a mature individual in sexual engagements or acts with someone who is under 18. Okay, that's child pornography, but doesn't it also constitute another charge because you have pictorial evidence of their actually being in the act? Isn't that assault or rape or whatever underage? Or would it just remain as child pornography? If you someone shows a picture of innocent into sexual engagement, into the act with someone who is presumed underage, and when the investigation is done, it is found out that the other person is indeed underage.
Yes, and you're right that it will constitute rape.
Okay.
Yeah, because as I said, actually could only give consent, not because the age of consent is 16. Right. So if the child under 16,
yes,
right,
then he could constitute
that's rape.
Yes.
It will be considered as rape. So then you will receive 2 charges in that incident: rape and child pornography.
Okay.
So with under the Electronic Crimes Act, the charge gonna be for child pornography.
Yeah, under the Electronic Crimes Act.
It will be for child pornography.
Yes.
So the other charge will come, but from the electronic, the act.
Well, we would only cover the digital aspect of it because of the photos and the videos supposedly. So then the rape aspect would come from the investigator, be it at the station or CID or SVU. So that's where the rape aspect of it will come in.
So that leads me to get a feel for what's happening in Grenada. Right. From this child pornography and so forth perspective, are you busy, that department? Do we have really a high number of cases of that?
We have seen, since the inception of the unit, initially it was, we rarely saw the reports of child pornography. But now it's showing, it's rearing up, its ugly head. We're seeing it now more prevalent than when we initially started the unit and started these sort of investigations. What we have to keep in mind is that how some of these offenses come about. We have to look at the genesis of how these offenses take place. It goes back to parenting. Right. What happens is that a lot of parents place devices in the hands of their kids. And yes, while you may want to think, yes, it's the internet, they're learning to the internet, and I didn't have that in my time.
Yes,
so I'll give them a tablet, I'll give them the cell phone unsupervised.
Right.
To you, in your presence, they will be doing one. But the minute time you turn your back, they on the social media platforms. They on WhatsApp, they on Facebook Messenger, TikTok, all these different platforms. Some of these kids are so crafty that they would even create accounts and you wouldn't even know.
You can monitor them. If a child does not want you to catch them in the cyberspace, trust me, it had to be a Jarvis Dabry or somebody like myself or somebody like you. The ordinary person who just has knowledge of how to use the computer and navigate around, fine. But them children nowadays, no, you can't. Folks, we have to take another commercial break. It's 17 minutes on to 10 o'clock. We take a quick break. This is To The Point, talking cyber security awareness with the RGPF, Constable Finley and Charles are with us this morning. We take a quick break. We'll be back after this. Don't you go anywhere.
Raise it high up the ladder. Let we set it on fire.
Godfrey, wow, watch the return of we culture. What? But don't go play around him out on me, no? Man said me a razor blade, you know. Nah. That hurt me, boy. You see that? Dark go meet it up. Dark must meet it up. In fact, self, let me do see that. Because you see that coast take that, next thing years start to grow and it turn longer than receive. Then first thing them viewers, they go run me down. But you see you that, Anytime you see you try that again, I put in course on you. Trust me.
Caller, I hear what you're saying and I understand what you're talking about, because I warn Doc and I tell Doc that kind of thing and me saying is wrong. So if you decide to put course on Doc, the only thing I could tell you is don't put the bad course on. Give him a course that he could bounce back. And don't spit when you throw in the course, because if you spit when you throw the course, you know Doc finish. So that's all I have to say. So folks, if all they want to hear how a scholar could put the course on Doc, then join us this Friday on We Culture and we go tell you. See you then.
Got something to share?
Call us at 440-1252.
WhatsApp 405-3052 or 407-8458.
Or email gbnnews@gbn.gd.
GBN News, first, accurate, voted #1.
Welcome back, viewers and listeners. It's To The Point for today, Thursday, the 2nd of October. In studio with me are Constables Finley and Charles from the Digital Forensic Unit of the that's a new unit, so I can understand. We can talk. The topic of child pornography and all this sort of thing is inexhaustible, but we have a list that we want to work with. So we know that it's an offense, child pornography and all these things are offenses, but something that is really trending, negatively trending though, is fraud and identity theft. From your department's perspective, how serious a problem is that in Grenada?
But this is also, apart from the sexual offenses, this is another offense that is high on the list of investigations that we perform. So this will be like the second one in rank. And as my colleague made mention earlier, he highlighted the trends of how persons fall victim to the scams. And most of the fraud cases that we deal with is because of these issues. Persons going online, not protecting their data, and then the offense is committed. And this is where we come in to actually investigate this issue. So it's always, again, the onus is back to the end user. Right?
But it's safe to say that because you know, at some point in time, people always thought that we look at things in the news regionally and internationally, and we say, wow, thank God we do that in Grenada. But that's not the case anymore.
No, that's not the case. Definitely it's not the case.
Not out of the woods.
That the internet is universal. It's not limited to one area of the world. So once you have a device and you're online, you can at some point become a victim to fraud. Even I myself come across, as I may say, you get anonymous phone calls, you get text messages, you get WhatsApp messages, emails. So none of us is, I might say, cannot be a victim to fraud. Anyone can be a victim. Even if you affair with technology, you affair with the do's and the don'ts. Right? You are not eliminated from not falling victim to fraud.
Okay. I want to make this interjection here, though. Viewers and listeners, it's about time that we get you involved in the conversation. We do have some other topical issues that we will touch, but while we talk, you can call in if you have a concern or a query. The goodly gentlemen, Constable Finley and Charles, they are more than able and willing to assist. As a matter of fact, let's take our first call. Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Hello, good day. How are you?
I am alive and thankful. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, so really I'm calling about concerning about rape. If rape is a thing for only special underage, because what I think that rape supposed to be a thing without consent.
Okay.
It could be somebody that is over 20 years.
And they say no.
And they say no, that is rape.
Okay, all right. Thank you, caller. Very good point.
Yeah. Right. I think maybe there was a bit of misunderstanding there. Yes. What we were dealing with was specifically child pornography.
Yeah, correct.
And the offenses that can be committed as regards to a child. Right. Now, rape is, I must say, a generic term. So, if, as you might rightly say, an adult, right? Yes, it goes for adults and as well as for kids. But at the time, we were specifically focusing on the issue of child pornography, right, and crimes against a child.
Okay, all right. So let's go back to fraud and identity theft online. Some tips. How can we protect ourselves against it? Because there's no ifs, no buts. It's already here. It's happening. What can the average person do to avoid being scammed with the identity and so forth?
Okay, so in terms of, let's say, for your accounts and whatnot, to be protected from scams and whatnot. One, you can always use your unique password, and in that I mean like use strong passwords. Don't go on, let's say you have your account and whatnot, and you're going to put a password 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, something that someone can easily guess. You understand? So so use unique password. And when I say that, I mean like have a mixed characters, letters, numbers, all caps, lower caps, even symbols, right? That one way how you can protect, your accounts and whatnot from being.
I usually use the birth date of my grandmother, first preschool teacher.
Well, here's what that. Well, I mean, yes. While one might want to, use birth dates and dates of significance to them, that can be very dangerous.
Yeah.
Because let's say someone who knows you well.
Exactly.
That's easy for them to figure out, and with AI, yeah, the AI is in a position to figure out this stuff. You would like if what they call it, something called open source.
Right.
So you might have your open source intelligence, where you may have your profile, your Facebook profile, and you go linking all your family members, and this is what my old school teacher, and this, and you go way and way back. It's not safe. And then AI is in a position that he would go through all his profiles and pull all birth dates, all anniversary, everything, and just start generating passwords from that.
This is a crazy algorithm.
Yeah, it is. So
let's take this call. Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Good morning. Good morning.
Welcome to the program.
Okay, right. It's good to get all this information. But what my question is, at what rate of success we can load these crimes to?
I don't quite understand the question. Are you meaning the rate of success of solving the crime?
Solving.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
We're about 75% so far.
Yeah, thereabout. So that information, we don't have it on hand at the moment. But however, we have had made good success in terms of prosecution against those crimes. Most of the cases that would have come across our department for analysis of those evidence, have seen successful prosecutions against those crimes.
Okay. All right. So we were looking at the tips, the strong passwords and so forth.
And most importantly, again, too, we cannot forever stop emphasizing on this. Mm-hmm. The suspicious link. You know that, let's say you may not partake in some form of promotions or whatnot.
Yeah.
And you see a link, some sort of instruction appear for what to do. Just ignore it. Do not click the link, because again, there can be like malware or whatnot embedded in those links, and just a click, and just so your device, whatnot can be compromised. Your account can be compromised, and all the personal information can be out there, whatnot. So think before you click. Always examine again for the websites, the URLs, right? That's where you may go on the browser and to enter a specific address that you want to visit. You may receive an email from a particular address. Always examine that address, that URL carefully before receiving. Again, you secure websites. And when I say that, I mean in essence, like when you look at the top, you always see the little padlock showing that it's locked, so no indicate that it's secure. Or look for the HTTPS.
I was hoping that you wouldn't go there, because the average person wouldn't know. Hence the reason why, Mr. Dabrio, we really need to meet and have a conversation. I think there needs to be a cyber awareness drive that is continuous, starting from the basics, coming right up. So the average person who are just using a computer would have a better appreciation for some of the basics, like looking for the padlock.
Yeah,
and the HTTPS.
Yeah, it's right there.
But the average man, I would know that, you would know that, but the average man wouldn't. Let's accommodate this call, please. Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Hello, a pleasant good morning. I've been listening to this program from the beginning, and if I ought to understand well what is being said, I don't see child pornography, etc. Is what I would call what the people would be, whoever is involved could be charged. When you're telling me that at age 12 a girl child could give consent to having sex, where are we going? Is it that, all people can understand, we're not reading enough, we don't look the dictionary to see the meaning of words, etc., etc.? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I know where he's going, but this 12 years thing, that is not law.
It's up for debate.
It's up for debate, and it's conversations like this, what you just pushed, should be taken on board when making that final decision.
Definitely.
All right.
Definitely.
Okay.
Safety tips.
What to do if I'm a victim of cyber bullying or scam or whatever? What can I do? What do I do if I'm a victim?
As we enlighten audience, first of all, report the matter. You understand? We have the CISO there, so as you alluded, Mr. Dabrio. You can always report it based on what form of scam and what form of cyber attack you may encounter. Always report the matter. Don't try to go and rectify it on your own, or maybe adhere to the instructions, because bear in mind, some people might do that. There might be a demand, for we to probably, if it's released to account, just send $1,000. Some people usually do it. Report the matter, and don't bear in mind that if you adhere to the instruction that they're going to release it. Most time, no. You'll go on and on and on and on.
There's always another reason.
Always another,
Exactly.
So report the matter. I know, and we'll see, our best, maybe that you can get some form of assistance, okay. So combating that problem. Okay.
All right. Well, we've exhausted the time, unfortunately. So let's do the wrap. And anything you want to share to that would something that would assist an unsuspecting member of my audience to protect themselves, for a parent who has a teenage child and is not very good, the parent is not very good with the gadgets, what advice can you give to them in terms of controlling that child and the gadget and so forth?
That's a good question. PT didn't come a bit earlier. So, yes, in relation to that, with parents and relates to the kids, remember, as I said, chastity begins at home. So whatever you do at your home, that is what is seen outside in the streets. So it only shows a reflection of what goes on in your home. The onus is on you, the parent. If you know you're not technologically savvy, right, get assistance, get the help of someone that is au fait with technology. There are apps that can be installed, parental control apps that can be installed on those devices where you can monitor the activity of your child. So that is one tip, that get assistance from. So if you're not technologically savvy, get the assistance of the school, maybe the IT person in the school, or someone that is close to you that is trusted, that can assist you with putting such measures on your child's device, and have what you call a timeout. You can't just have your child on the device 24/7. Every minute you turn, the head is in a device. I mean, that's easy to say. It's easy to say, but it's actually hard to do, because once you give that child that bad habit, it is difficult to break them out of it.
But the key word there is child.
Yeah, it's child.
It's child. If I'm a parent and you're the child, and I said, okay, it's time to get up, it's non-negotiable.
Yeah, well, that's easy to say again.
No, it's not.
That's easy. Well, in the context that for you, you might be able to say, okay, X, Y, and Z and a child, but some parents, sad to say, the child will throw up a tantrum and just to calm down the child, say, okay, go ahead, continue using the device.
Craziness. That's craziness.
So is this sort of small things that leads to bigger problems.
Okay.
Also,
right, wrapping.
All right, and just to add what Charles stated, also bear in mind, always be mindful, be very careful on what you share online.
Yeah.
Sometimes we like to post everything. It's like our life. We want to put our life on social media.
Let me ask you this. Doesn't that irritate you?
Definitely.
Honestly, it does. Yeah. Definitely.
I mean, it has to be craziness. Hence the reason why when you talk about cyber privacy and so forth, we don't have it. You have people posting what food they intend to cook tomorrow on social media. That's craziness.
Definitely.
You're not a restaurant. You're not advertising.
Definitely. And
let's say they might be traveling or something, and if I want to say, okay, let me plot assassination, let's say on my colleague Charles, and because I know he posts everything, so you say, okay, he live in point A now, okay, I'm living here now. When you reach to point B, I am here now. It's easy. Yeah. So I'll be very mindful what we post on social media.
Okay. Well, gentlemen, Mr. W, I know you're listening. We have a conversation to have, because I think it's incumbent on the people with the knowledge and the media to really do more to sensitize the general unsuspecting population, and we're going to do that. So we're going to piggyback on you all every now and then, come in and have a chat, and so forth, because we have to. We have to prepare, because we have a relatively aging population. So the older, you can ask a old, I shouldn't say old, an aged parent in the 40s, 50s who were not exposed to, this sort of cyber stuff, to be on top of the game, but we at least have to get them to some semblance of understanding of the basics of it. So you know what is right and what is wrong, and how to do what and how not to do that. So we have to do it. We have to do that. And I will be depending on you all that we can put some programs in place to do that.
Definitely. And we look forward to that.
All right. So Constable Finley and Constable Charles from the Digital Forensic Unit. It's been a very interesting conversation and to the point, and I look forward to another engagement in the not too distant future.
Thank you, and it was our pleasure being here. And thank you to the listening public for your engagement as well. And we hope that the information would help you as you go along in your daily routines while engaging the World Wide Web.
Okay. All right, so folks, that's it for To The Point this morning. I have been your host, Gordon Joseph, and if the good Lord spare our lives, we'll have another To The Point program tomorrow. As a matter of fact, let me advertise it. Tomorrow on To The Point, I will be joined by MP for the town of St. George, the Honorable Peter David, and you can start formulating your questions in your head because he will be interactive, and we'll be talking his political career and the movement that is coming. So we look forward to that. That's it for To The Point this morning. Have a good one, everybody. Love you. Bye-bye.